So good job we didn't get all of that fiasco on the recording, wasn't it? My earphone shenanigans. Welcome, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us. And you run this mailing system called Sensorpro, which is very easy and user-friendly for artists. Yeah. Yes. So you're going to give us a full demonstration, I hope.
I sure am, absolutely. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen. So, share. There we go. You're very welcome, everyone, to this little demo of Sensorpro. I'm going to try and get this done by about 6:45. I'm just going to fly through it. I won't take up too much of your time. So as Leslie said, Sensorpro is, if you use MailChimp and SurveyMonkey and all these kind of tools, we're kind of a similar kind of tool, but all rolled into one. So it's an email marketing system for sending emails to your followers. It's a survey tool for capturing feedback and asking your subscribers questions and getting feedback that way. And it's kind of an all-in-one solution for that. And what you're looking at here is the main menu for Sensorpro. This is what you see when you're logged in. Okay, I'm logged into a demo environment here. So on the left-hand side of the screen, I think the first thing I should point out to you is the help system at the top left of the screen. So if you're wondering how to get going in Sensorpro once you've created your account, the quick start link here will take you to a step-by-step guide to how to do all of the main tasks that are in Sensorpro. Okay. On the main part of the screen, there's a quick start email section, which is just built-in templates that you can use to quickly get going in Sensorpro. And I'll show you that in a minute. In the middle, you've got recent campaigns, which shows you all of the recent campaigns that you have created in Sensorpro. It gives you quick access to them, basically. And on the right-hand side, recent results will show you the results for any recent campaigns that you've sent out. There's nothing there because the most recent campaign wasn't sent, but in a normal situation, you'll see percentages there for your most recent campaign. On the bottom half of the right-hand side of the screen, then scheduled broadcasts. It will show you if you've got any broadcasts scheduled to go out at some point in the future. So if you want to send an email on Friday morning, you can set it up now and then schedule it to be sent on Friday morning at 10 o'clock or whatever. And if you do have any scheduled broadcasts, they'll show up there. And under recent sends at the very bottom right, it will show you all the recent broadcasts that were done from Sensorpro. So if you've sent any recent campaigns, sent any recent emails, they'll show up on that list as well. If you are starting off in Sensorpro and you need help, you can click on the little envelope icon here at the bottom corner of the screen, and it will open up a help system, which will reach out to one of our support team. So we're happy to jump in and give you a hand if you need help with anything. So feel free to click that little envelope at the bottom right of the screen if you run into difficulty. Okay, so let's get going. I thought it'd be fun to set up a little template for Leslie while I was in here. So I'm going to do an email that's themed on the Pure Arts website, the Pure Arts Group website. So just to remind people what it looks like, this is Leslie's website. So it has the Pure Arts, the Pure logo at the top. It has a big image there. And I'm going to take some of this text in the middle of the screen just to use as copy for the email. And I'll set the fonts and colors and do all that kind of stuff and show you how easy it is to do. So let's go back to my Sensorpro session. So what I'm going to do is, rather than using one of our built-in templates, I'm going to start with a blank template. So this light theme template in the quick start email section will start me off with a new campaign with a blank design. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. I have the option to add to an existing campaign or to create a new campaign. So I'm going to create a new campaign. I'm going to call it Pure Arts. And click OK. What will happen now is it will take me into the email designer. Okay, so this is where you will build your email using like a building block system, like Legos, if you know that kind of system. So in the middle of the screen is where you'll build up your email, and what you'll do is use these little boxes on the left-hand side of the screen called layouts to build up your email. So the layout section is divided into 8 subsections. There is a headers and footers section for things that you would see at the top and bottom of an email. So the things you would see at the top would be things like logos, a view in browser link, menu bars and things like that, link bars. And things you'd see in the footer are social media icons, app store icons, disclaimer text, an opt-out link, and stuff like that. The next section down is headings for various different styles of headings. The next one down is for some text-only panels. You can see there's a few different variations of text-only panels there. Next one down is probably the main one that people will kind of gravitate towards, is the images with text section. So images with text are combinations of images and text and buttons that you can use to build up your email. So on these 30 layouts here, you can see there's a little, on some of these, there's a little black box with the mountain on it. That represents an image. There is wavy lines that represents text, and there's a little red box that represents buttons. So if you look down through those layouts, you can see there's lots of combinations of images and text and buttons that you can use in your email. There's 2-column layouts, 3-column layouts, full width layouts, and so on. So you can play with these and you can see what works for you in your design. The next section down is for e-commerce layouts. So these are layouts that include things like pricing and discounts and a buy now button. If you've got a link to your website, if you're selling your work through your site, you can link straight to that work and get people to buy it. The media panel for the musicians. If you've got a YouTube channel and you want to include video clips in your emails, you can use the media panel to add a video clip for that. Events and bookings. If you want to invite people to attend an event or to buy a ticket for an online concert or something like that, you can use the events and booking section there. So there's a section for location and an image and a book now button and so on for that. Next section down is for buttons. So there's a few combinations of buttons here, 2 buttons side by side, 3 buttons side by side, and a few different styles of single buttons. There's a divider lines section where these are kind of separators that you can use to break up your content, little horizontal lines or spacers to space out your content a bit if you feel it's a bit kind of squashed together. And then there's an advanced section, which I won't cover today. We'll just stick with the basic stuff. So let's start by building up our email. So what I'm going to do, let's go back up to the top. I'm going to add a view and browser link at the top, because I think that's kind of good practice to put that in at the top of your email. I'm going to add in a space for a small logo. So you can see all I'm doing is just dragging and dropping these things into the middle of the screen. I'm going to add in, let's go down to the images with text section, and I'm going to drag in a feature article layout. I'm going to drag that in there under the logo. And finally, let's put in some social media icons at the bottom. So I'm going back to the header section. Let's just scroll down the email there, and then let's choose this one here. So I can drag in a link to various social media sites. Okay, so how do we change this content? Well, very easily. On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see there's a recent images panel open, and this shows you all the recent images that you've uploaded to Sensorpro. So if you're starting off, you won't have any images here. So you need to upload your own images to use in your email campaign. So what I'm going to do is click on the Upload Images button at the top of the screen. That opens up this Upload Images panel on the right-hand side. And what I can do, if I just move the zoom control out of the way, I can drag and drop. I've got images on my desktop here. I hope you can see those. And I'm just going to drag and drop those from my desktop onto that area where it says drop images here to upload. Just drag and drop them in there and let go of the mouse button, and they're all uploaded, ready to use. So if I go to the recent images section at the top, you will see all the recent images that have been uploaded into this account. So let's start putting some of these images into my email. So you can see in my email, I've got these gray boxes here where it says drag image here to replace. So all I've got to do is just drag and drop images from the right-hand side of the screen over the gray boxes, and it will replace those images, those placeholder images, with your actual images that you want to use. So let's drag in the pure logo, the butterfly, let go of the mouse button, and let's drag in the feature image, the about banner. We'll put that in there. Okay. So let's say we want to change the text. Okay. Let's just jump out to the Pure Arts website, and I'm going to just copy some of this text out. So I'm just going to grab some of this text out from Leslie's site. I'm going to replace, so just click on the text and it brings up this little handy little editor, and you can paste in the text that you want to use for your email. And the text on Leslie's site was centered, so I'm going to center this as well. So it's very similar to Word or Outlook or any other kind of writing system. You'll see a lot of familiar icons here at the top of the screen. So we're just going to center the pure potential text, and that's centered there. And let's go back to the website. I'm going to grab some of the text here from the email or from the website. I'm going to paste this into my design. So again, just click on the text. It'll bring up the little editor, and you just paste your text into the window, and we'll just center it to match the layout of the site. Let's just add a little break there between the paragraphs and save. Okay. So there was one other thing I wanted to add, actually. So there's one other layout that I'd planned for, which is under the image of the text section. There are some logo bars at the bottom. So you'll see, I'll show you in a moment, but Leslie has some logo bars at the bottom of her website for sponsors and where exhibits happen and so on. So I'm just going to drag in a logo bar under the Find Out More button there. Just allows you to put 3 images side by side. And you'll see on the recent images on the right, we've got some logos here, which I'm just going to drag and drop into the email just to match what she has on her website. So there we go, those 3 logos in there. Okay, so now we've got to do a little bit of formatting on this. So let's go back to Pure Arts. We'll just take a look at the formatting on this. So the text is quite small, and the headings are in this kind of purple color. So let's just start changing the formatting of the email to be more like Leslie's site. So let's go back to the email designer. So to change the formatting, I'm just going to close the layouts panel on the left. You can see there's 4 more sections underneath. There's an email background section where you can change the background color for the email. So if I go into outer color there, just to show you, let me try this. Let's change to blue, for example, and click apply. And you can see it has a little bit of a blue border to the left and right of the email. It's the background color for the email. And the content background color is the color behind the content itself. I like to leave that white. It's just personal preference. I'm going to change this back to white for Leslie's email just to match her own site layout. So let's go down to, so styles is where you can change the styling of individual elements in your email. So change the color of buttons. You can change the outer color and content background color here as well. You can change all the different headings. You can change the email text style, the email link style, the style of the dividers in your email, change the button styles at the bottom. So there's lots of little things you can change to restyle the email. But just to make it a little bit easier, they can also be changed on the skin section, which is the next section down here. So let's just have a quick look at Leslie's site again. So you can see her text is quite small and it's not jet black. It looks like it's kind of dark gray, and her headings are purple. So I'm going to change those in the skins panel here. So let's change the body text color to just something a bit lighter, not jet black, just to kind of a dark gray color. I'm going to change the text size to be a good bit smaller. Let's change it down to 15 pixels. That's the height of the text. And you can play about with these, so they're not set in stone. You can change them whatever way you want. Let's change the button color to be the purple color from Leslie's site. The bottom drop down here is for the color of the text on the button. So we'll leave that as white. Let's change I think I'll leave that as it is. It's size 18. I'm going to change the link color to that purple color as well. And I'll change all the headings. Let me scroll down here just to get them all in the one place. There's heading 1, which is really big text. Heading 2 is a little bit smaller. Heading 3 is a little bit smaller than that. And heading 4 is smaller than that. So there are 4 different sizes of headings. So I'm going to change heading 1 to purple, heading 2 to purple, heading 3 to purple. That's the same one, yeah. And heading 4 to purple. Wrong purple, one down. Okay. And then at the bottom there's a discount heading. We won't worry about that for now. So you'll see when I click the apply button here now, all the styles in the email will be changed to match what I've just put in these settings. So if I click apply here now, you can see if I scroll down, all the text is now that kind of small text that's on the Pure Arts website. The headings are the purple color from the website, and the find out more button at the bottom is also that purple color. So you can see in just a couple of minutes, I've actually kind of gone some way towards recreating the format of Leslie's website in an email. So she could use this as a starting point now for any emails that she wants to send going forward, because people who are familiar with the Pure Arts website will kind of recognize this color scheme and recognize this format. So what else can we do in here? Every time, as you go along and you're creating your email, it's good that you click the save button at the top of the screen. See this save button at the very top of the screen here, the 6th one across. And every time you click the save button, what will happen is it will save, just refresh the list there, it'll save a little checkpoint. You can see there's a date and timestamp there to show me every time I click the save button. Let's just do it one more time. Click the save button, going to revert again, just refresh that list. And you can see there's another little date and timestamp there. So it's basically like an undo feature. So if you are creating an email and you've done some recoloring on it and think that looks terrible, I prefer the way it was 5 minutes ago, as long as you've saved the one you did 5 minutes ago, you can go back to it. So you can click on the date and time in the revert panel here, and it just asks you, do you want to go back to this version? Your existing design will be replaced by the version you selected. So you can just go back. So it's like a little bit of a safety net. It's also useful if you delete a line, if you remove a big block of text that you spent some time formatting, you might think, how am I going to get that back? I spent ages working on it. As long as you've saved it, you can go back to it. So it's very easy to do that. Okay. Okay, so let's have a quick look at some of the other things on the right-hand side of the screen. So let me close recent images. So upload images you saw, so you drag and drop the images into this area and they'll be uploaded for you to use in your email. The next section down is somewhere you can send yourself a test email. So I can put in Pure Arts Group as a subject line. I can send it to dave@sensorpro.net and click the send test email button, and it will send me a test. You can see at the top message at the top there saying email sent. Now you will see I'm getting a little orange box in the top corner of the screen, and it's telling me that there's a button in my design that's not linked to any web page. So ensure all buttons are linked before sending test emails. See FAQ for more information. So basically that's telling me that I have a button in my email that I have not yet added a link to. So it's just a little warning that you've added something to your email that you need to finish before you send it to your list. And the only button I have in my email is the Find Out More button there. So I'm just going to click that line to select it, click on the button, and it brings a little button editor where I can just change the link on the button. So I can change this to, I think it's pureartsgroup.co.uk. And I'll say change the text in the button to visit our site. Okay. And that link is now, that button is now linked to the Pure Arts Group website. All right. So I think if you are kind of working in the designer, I suggest kind of going through the different layouts here. Let me just throw in a few more here just to show you what some of the other layouts, common layouts that people use are. So something like a 2-column layout with an image on the left and text on the right with a heading and a button. There's a layout with kind of 2 buttons side by side, and the images are on the right hand side and the text is on the left. Let's just do one more. We'll do a 3-column layout with headings. So you can see there's a 3-column layout there. So when you add these layouts to your design and you're adding all the content to them, these emails are going to be mobile responsive automatically. So mobile responsive means that if you open them on your smartphone, on your iPhone or Android device, it will rearrange the email so that you can read the email without pinching and zooming and doing all that kind of nonsense to try and read really tiny text. So let me show you. So if I click preview at the top, just to preview what my email looks like, you can see what it looks like here on the screen, okay? So this is what it looks like on a desktop. So if you open it up on your PC or your laptop, this is what it might look like. But if I shrink this window down just below a certain size, you'll see once I get below a certain width, it will start to stack the content instead of showing it side by side. So you can see on the background on the right of my preview, you can see that these three pieces were side by side, but now in my preview, they're stacked. So this is how it's going to look on your smartphone screen. So again, you're going to be able to read your email, read the text without pinching and zooming and trying to read tiny text on the screen. You can see it's perfectly legible as it is. It's not going to shrink everything down. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then the last one is a video section. So if you have content on YouTube or Vimeo and you want to include that content in your email, you can click on one of these icons. Let's say your content's on YouTube. You can click on the little clapperboard icon here beside YouTube. You just paste in your URL or video ID from the end of a YouTube video URL into that box there on the screen. And what it will do is it will get a thumbnail for that video automatically. It will overlay the image, the thumbnail, with a play button to make it look like a video, and it will link it to that clip automatically. So when you go through this process, what will happen is it will appear on the recent images panel on the right-hand side of the screen. Let's do a little quick demo. Let's move that panel out of the way. The zoom controls are in the way a bit. So let's just go to YouTube because this might be quite important for you guys. So let's just pick any random video from YouTube. Let's go to John Oliver here. Just pause it so it doesn't play. So I'm just going to grab the link from my link bar on my browser, the whole link, go back to my email designer, go back to the video panel. I'm going to click on YouTube, paste in my clip there, click Get Image, and you'll see under my recent images section on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see a little preview of John Oliver there on the video clip. And I can just drag and drop that into my email. Let's put it in here. And you can see that's an actual video clip now that will play if someone clicks on the video. All right, so very easy to do. I hope you agree. Okay, so you've got your emails done. I'm going to click the Save button at the top and click on Done. I'm getting that warning about the buttons again. There are more buttons I've added with those other layouts. You just need to make sure you've added links to all your buttons. Click on Done to finish with your design. So you can see we are inside my Pure Arts campaign. Now you can see the title there, Pure Arts. And you'll see that I'm on step 1 of a 3-step process for sending this email out. So step 1 is where you create your email. Step 2 is where you build your segment. A segment is just a fancy name for a list. It's a group of your contacts. It can be all your contacts or a specific group that you want to send a specific email to. I'm going to click on the Add New button at the bottom to add a new segment or list. All right. So on the segment screen, we're just going to give our segment a name and a description. So let's just call this, what date's today? March 23rd. Just call it March 23, okay? For the name and description. And then on the left-hand side of the screen, you'll see 5 little radio buttons here, 5 little selectors for 5 different, the most common rules that people use to create a segment. So a seed list is where you can manually type in an email address in this box on the right-hand side, like I've done there. Tags or imported lists are lists that you've imported. So if you have contact lists that you send your content to, there's a process in Sensorpro for uploading those contacts into Sensorpro. And then when you've gone through that process, they will show up on this list here. So I've got an import here called March the 3rd, for example, which is an import I did a few weeks ago. So I can tick on March the 3rd, I can click the OK button at the bottom, and it will just give me a list of all the people that were in that March the 3rd list that I imported, okay? For you guys, you just might want to send to everyone. So you've got a list of 100, 200, 500, 1,000 people that you want to send an email to. You want to send it to everyone, just pick include everyone. So all you got to do is pick include everyone. Let's just do that. Click OK. And it will just go away and just build a list of all of my contacts that I can send an email to. And I've just refreshed my screen there now, and you can see the list size. If I'm going to send to this list, the list size is 112 contacts. So if I send my email to this list, it will go to all 112 contacts that are in my account. Okay, let's do the third step. So step 3 is where you broadcast or send the email. Okay, so I can click on Add New Broadcast at the bottom right of the screen. You can see the subject line is Pure Arts Group. It's going to come from demo@sensorpro.net. I'll leave that alone. And you can have a different reply to address if you want. So you can send, Leslie could send her email from info@pureartsgroup.co.uk, but set the replies to go directly to her own personal address if she wants to do that. You don't have to fill in a reply to address. If you don't, replies will go back to whatever address you have in the from address. Okay, so very simply, all you do here is choose the design you want to send out. So I'll pick the pure template that I've been working on. You select the segment that you want to use. So I'll pick my March 23rd segment that I just created on step 2 and click OK. So I'm back out of the broadcast list. I haven't sent anything yet, so nothing's going to happen when you create a broadcast like that. You still need to do one more step, and that's click the green send button in the options column on the right. See the little green paper airplane on the right? So when you click that green paper airplane, it'll say, are you sure you wish to broadcast this message? This message will be sent to 112 active contacts now. So if I click OK, that email will be sent to all 112 contacts that are in this account. I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to cancel that to stop it from sending. If you want to schedule an email to go out, you just go back in to edit this broadcast with the little pencil icon here to edit the properties. And you'll see back in here where we were a few minutes ago, there is a scheduled broadcast tab at the top. So I can just say, I want this email to go out on Friday morning. I'll just pick on Friday the 26th. I'm going to change the time to 11 a.m. Just change the date and time there. Click OK. So we're back out in the broadcast list. But now when I click the send button, something different happens. I'm told that this broadcast is scheduled to run on the 26th of March 2021 at 11 a.m. in 2 days, 16 hours, 26 minutes, and 31 seconds. And 112 emails will be sent. So if I click OK on that, I know it's not going to send now because it's scheduling it. You'll see that it is now scheduled to send at that time. So that will automatically be sent at 11 a.m. on Friday morning. If you decide you don't want to send it, you want to cancel it, stop it from going out, just click the little clock icon in the options column and that will stop it from going out. So I don't want it to send, so I'm going to cancel that. So we're back out at the green icon being available. So just, if you want to send it, click the green icon and that will send it out. Okay, so that's the 3 steps. So you create your design, you build your segment or select your list that you want to send your email to, and then you send it out. So what can you do now? So once you've sent your email out, with an email marketing system, you'll be able to see who has opened your email and who has clicked on your links. And this is the real power of an email marketing tool, to be able to see what people have done in your email, what they're interested in, how many times they've opened your email, if they've opted out, if you've got bad contacts on your list, if you've got email addresses that bounce back to say this person isn't at this address anymore. And all of that kind of stuff can be tracked in your campaign results. So I'm back out of the home screen. By the way, click on the green house icon in the top corner to get back to this home screen if you're not sure where you are and you want to get back to the start. That green house icon will take you back out here. So under recent campaigns in the middle of the screen, I have a campaign here called OM, which is one that I did recently for O'Mahony's bookstore here in Limerick. And I'm going to click on the results icon, which is the one with the little boxes on it. The pencil icon will take you back in to work with the campaign itself. You know, if you're going to go back in and make changes or resend it, you click on the pencil icon to go back in and work with that side of the campaign. But the icon with the 4 boxes is the results. So let's work with the results. And this is the kind of information that you will have available to you after you send your campaign out. So look at the 6 boxes at the top first. So we can see that there were 12 emails sent, 6 emails were opened, there were 9 link clicks, so 9 different links in my email were clicked, 2 bounced. So bounced means that it was sent to a bad address that doesn't work anymore. So those people have left, like people might have left Hotmail and got a Gmail account, for example, or companies closed. A lot of companies have closed in the last year because of COVID. So those domains or email addresses don't work anymore. So Sensorpro will manage those bounces automatically. So after you send your first campaign, you will probably see some amount of your contacts have bounced because those emails are not valid anymore. Okay, unsubscribe are contacts that have clicked an opt-out link in your email to say, take me off your list. So that's all automatic. You don't need to worry about managing those contacts. That all happens automatically when they click that link. So if someone's opted out, you will not be able to email them. Okay, so you don't have to worry about those guys anymore. And then finally, the spam box here will show you if anyone has hit the spam button in your email. So if you have a Gmail account or a Hotmail account or Yahoo account, you'll know at the top of the reading pane in those clients, there's a junk button or a spam button that people can click to mark your email as being spam. So if they do that, they will be, it will be recorded here as a result in your campaign, and they will be opted out automatically as well. If they hit the junk button in your emails, they don't want your content. So we'll just opt them out. Okay. So for all of those 6 boxes, you'll see there's a view details link, and you can, if you click on view details, you'll be able to see in the example of opens, you can see who opened your email. So if I click view details there, I can see who the 6 people that opened my email were, and you can see all the addresses there on the left hand side, and the count here shows you the number of times they opened the email. So you can see Dave at sensorpro.eu has opened this email 3 times. Okay. The next section down is popular links. So this was the email had some sample books in it. So these 3 links here are 3 book titles from that email. So Why Can't We Hug had 4 clicks. The Joy in You had 3 clicks, and Slug in Love had 2 clicks. And again, you can click on this line. So if you've got artwork or CDs or any other kind of media that you're selling or promoting in your emails, you'll see all of those links listed here, and you can click on the line. So if I pick Why Can't We Hug, I can click on that line and I can see who were the people that clicked on that particular link. And you can see you can see the link there at the top of the screen as well if you're not sure what it was. All right, so I can see that the 4 people here all clicked on this particular book once each. Okay. Next section down shows you open rates. So this was a single day campaign where it was just a demo for a prospect. So there's only activity for 1 day here, but normally on a kind of a longer campaign, you'll see a line graph here from day to day. So there's only activity from the 12th of February. So if there were opens on the 13th, 14th, 15th, you'll see a smooth line between those days to show you if your email is still being opened. Next section down is recent opens. So all of the recent activity for this campaign. So the last thing that happened in this campaign was a link click by my Hotmail address on the 12th of February 2021 at 9:38 in the morning. Okay. Let's go back up to the top and we look at the right-hand side. So campaign metrics is just a fancy way of kind of saying your campaign results. So we have a 60% open rate. So 60% of my contacts have opened this email. We've got a 90% click-through rate, 20% unsubscribe rate, 0% spam rate, and a 17% bounce rate. Okay, so they're the results for your campaign. Okay, couple more things to show you and then we're going to wrap up. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. So starting off, I guess one of the important things you're going to be doing is importing your contacts. You've got a list of contacts that you want to add into Sensorpro so you can start emailing them. So typically what people do is they'll have their contacts in a spreadsheet or a Google sheet or a numbers sheet if you use a Mac, and you'll have a big long list of your email addresses that you want to use. So in that tool, what you'll do, whichever spreadsheet tool you use, or if you're using a CRM system or anything to manage your contacts, in any system, there's usually an option to save your contacts or save your data as a CSV file. So it's just one of the file types you can save as in a spreadsheet or CRM tool. So when you save your spreadsheet as a when you save your spreadsheet as a CSV file, excuse me, what you'll do is click on the contacts menu on the left-hand side of the screen and go to the imports option here. And imports is where you can import your contacts. Okay, so let's go through the process. So you can see we've got 5 imports here that have been done previously. Some going back 5 or 6 years. This has been here quite a while. So I'm going to add a new import by clicking the green Add New button. So if you're starting off and just using a text file, you can just import from a text file. So that's the default option in here. Click on the Next button to go to step 2. On step 2, we give our import a name. So we'll just put in the date again, March 23. Choose a file. So find where you've got your CSV file saved on your PC or Mac or laptop or wherever you have it. So I have a CSV file here called My Contacts. The little preview should open here on the Mac just to see what it looks like. No, it doesn't show preview. So just click Open, and it will select that CSV file, and then just click on the Next button to go to step 3. And on step 3, what we're doing is mapping the information from your CSV file into the corresponding fields in Sensorpro. And we'll try and do as much of this automatically as possible, so you don't have to mess around too much on this screen. So you can see on the left-hand column here, these are all the column headings from your spreadsheet or CSV file. So you've got first name, last name, email, business name, and job. So you've got 5 columns in your spreadsheet. Sample data shows you a sample of the data in those columns. So first name is Joe, last name is Kelvin, and so on. Map to field is the important one. This is where you're going to put this information in Sensorpro. So you can see a lot of this has been done automatically. So you can see first name is going to go to the first name field, last name to the last name field, email to the personal email field, which is our main email field. Business name is going to a biz name field. And the only one that's not mapped automatically is the job. So let's do that. So beside the blank field, there's a button with three dots on it. That's a prompt button. So if I click the prompt button, it'll pop up an extra list on the screen. And all you have to do is look down this list of available fields and go, okay, where am I going to put the person's job title? And if I scroll down this list, there should be a job title field there, halfway down the left-hand side. You see job title there. Should be highlighted on your screen. I'm going to click on that job title, and that goes into that field. So if I click the Finish button now, what will happen is it will run that import. So there's an import there called March 23. Just refresh my screen, and it's actually finished now, and there are 5 active contacts as part of this import. So if you've got 100 contacts in your spreadsheet, you'll see 100 in there, and so on. So it'll tell you the number of contacts you have to work with. And that's it. So when you've imported your list there, when you go back to doing your campaign, remember step 1 was your design, step 2 was your segment, step 3 was broadcast. On your step 2 screen, you'll add a new segment, you'll choose the imported list option. That's what these are, imported lists here. And I choose the March 23 import. And if I send my email to that list, it will go to the 5 people from that March 23 list. All right. And the second last thing I want to show you, and I'm nearly there, is people wonder, well, okay, so I've got an email marketing tool. How can I get people to sign up for my newsletter? How can I add a sign up form to my website? And that's going to be an important part of growing your contact list. So on the menu on the left-hand side of the screen, there's a Tools menu, and there's a Sign Up Forms option. Okay. So from the sign up forms option, there are a number of styles of sign up form that you can use for your website. There's a few here for Bootstrap. There's one for WordPress if your site's on WordPress, and there's a few unstyled forms here. If you have a person or a team or a company that does your website for you, you can do an unstyled form and give them the code for the form, and they can restyle it to match your website style. Okay. If you're not sure which of these to use, just send us an email. Remember, click on the envelope icon here. You can send a message to support, and we can give you full help on choosing the right one for your site. Okay. So from here, you'll pick which one you want to use as a starting point, and then let's just do one here. If I pick demo Feb 20 here, just as an example. So you just give your sign up form a name. You can see a little preview of what it looks like there on the right hand side. And you just go through this little wizard here. You can see this is step 1 of 6 steps. So step 2 is just some settings for this form. You can put in links for various pages you go to as part of this process. Step 3 is where you get the code that you can put on your website. So let's just click the show button here just as an example. You can see it generates a little block of HTML code that you can give to your designers, or we can help you to put it on your website if you're not a HTML guru. Then click on the next button to go to step 4. This is where you can design your welcome email. So as part of the sign up process, the contact will be sent an email to say, please confirm that this was you, that you want to opt in to receive the email. You can change everything in this email as well, putting in your logo at the top, change the text, change the button text or button colors, change the link to your website. All this stuff can be changed by clicking on it. Let's go to the next button for the second last step. So this is the unsubscribe email. So if someone opts out, they get sent this email to say we received an unsubscribe request from you. And it gives them an option to opt back in if they made a mistake. And then the next button just takes you to the last step, which says, congratulations, you've designed the subscriber experience for demo Feb 20. All right, so that's the process for creating a sign-up form. So you can take that code from that middle step there, send it to your web designers, or add it to your own site if you know how, and then that will just work. If someone fills in that form, puts in their email address, that'll be added to your mailing list in Sensorpro automatically. All right. The last thing I want to show you, I've really only scratched the surface of everything that Sensorpro can do. One of the other cool features that we have is a survey tool. So if you want to do some market research, get feedback from your contacts, you can use a survey tool to do that. Now, I'm not going to do a survey demo today because we'd need another hour. It's just a whole other system by itself. What I'm going to do is show you a sample survey, just to show you some of the things you can do with the survey tool. So this is a demo survey just to show you some of the features. So surveys can be multilingual. So if you want to run a survey in English and Irish, or English and French, or English and German, or multiple languages, more than 2, you can do that. So I'm going to just pick English for this one, just to move on. We've got some emoji questions. These are questions that use kind of visual guides for how you feel about various things. So I'll just click the smiley face, 3 stars, and let's say two thumbs up for this one. The next one are some ratings questions. So please rate your shopping experience. And we've got value for money and product ranges, things we're rating on. And the ratings are poor, okay, and good. So I'll pick good for both of those. Please select the products for you or your family members to buy. So let's say shoes for me, recovery food for household, training gear for me and household. Rank the top 3 stores for sports equipment. So I'll pick Global Sports, then Sports Plus, then Acme Sports for my top 3. Then we've got a net promoter score question. It's rating your sentiment towards your company on a scale of 0 to 10. So I'll just pick extremely likely for this one. And then there's this kind of grid-based question where I can select multiple things per line. So I've coffee shop every visit, shoes sometime, leisure sometimes, and hiking never. Click OK on that. So a couple more screens, some basic question types. So maybe you just want simple radio questions and multi-select questions. So we've got a radio question here. I'll pick male for my gender, How would you like us to contact you? I'll say email and phone number. There's a comments for people to type in answers in their own words. And there's a drop-down question here where you can select, in this case, the time that you prefer to shop. So I'll pick lunchtime. Click on next. We've got some simple hide and show. So I can say, if I said no here, I can just carry on as if there's nothing else here. But if I pick yes, you can see it pops up an extra question on the screen here because I visited the coffee shop. I'm going to rate the coffee shop. So just pick OK for all of those. There's text piping. So text piping takes the answer from a question here and adds it to the question text below. So because I ticked 4 stars for the top question, it's asked me to rate the checkout process as a 4-star experience. Why am I rating as a 4-star experience? So you type in something there. The next one is answer filtering. So answer filtering takes these answers that I tick and it adds them as answers to another question on the screen. So because I've only ticked shoes, leisure wear, and gloves, I'm only being asked to rate shoes, leisure wear, and gloves because they're the only ones that apply to me. All right. One more screen, I think. Yep, just a screen to capture kind of personal information about the person who's filling in the survey. So first name, Dave. There we go. Last name, Ewing, and my email address. And that's my, if I can type it, that's my email address if anyone wants to ask any questions after. So just take a note of that, dave@sensorpro.net. Okay, and Leslie can give it to you if you don't pay with now. Let's just click finish on that, and that is the finish page for the survey. Again, customizable. You can redirect someone to your website instead of showing a finish page like that. So all customizable. And that's it, really, guys. I'm a little bit more than I planned to take. 52 minutes, I think. It's not too bad, considering the technical issues at the start. But that's it. So, does anybody have any questions before we wrap up? I suppose I should say one other thing, actually. Pricing. It's going to be important for you if you're starting off. So, if your contact list, the number of contacts you have, is less than 2,500 contacts, you can use Sensorpro completely free. Okay, it's not going to cost you a penny. Okay, once you go above 2,500 contacts, then we work off a credit system. So credit system is like prepay credit on a mobile phone. You buy credits to send your campaigns out, and when you run out of credits, you just buy more credits. You can see in the top right corner of the screen, the number of credits I have in this account is 1,131, which means that I can send 1,131 emails. So when you run out, just click the shopping basket here, buy more credits, as much as you need. There's no monthly subscriptions or anything sneaky like that. You can just buy the amount of credit that you need, and then you're done, and you just buy more credit in 2, 3, 4 months when you're ready to send your next email. So there's no hidden charges or anything fancy in there. Just buy credits if you need it. It really is a pay-as-you-go system. And that's it, really. So again, free if you have less than 2,500 contacts on your list. All right.
Thank you, Dave. That was absolutely brilliant. You're a speed talker.
Wow, I'm used to it.
Speed talking Dave, we're going to call
it's probably
you.
Speed talking because I'm starving and I'm looking forward to my dinner.
I know, it's been a long day for all of us, hasn't
absolutely.
it? I am so grateful because the system, I have to say, the system is so super intuitive and so much is done for you that for artists who are, time poor because they, want to spend their time in the actually making artwork, not doing all their admin. This is a brilliant system, and free under 2,500 is great. Juliet has a question. She has an upload question. I'm a photographer, so would like to upload pictures of my work. Do the images need to be in a low resolution of 72 dpi, or can I use better quality?
You can use digital photos. So if you have kind of standard digital photos that are 300 dpi, the things that kind of proper digital cameras would take, when you upload them, it will scale them down automatically to 72 dpi for use in your email. So you don't have to worry about resizing them to put in your email. That's all done automatically as part of the image upload process. So it'll shrink them down to be a more suitable size for email automatically.
And that's to stop it bouncing when it arrives in people's inboxes.
Well, it's not going to bounce, but I mean, if you have 10 photos that are 5 megabytes each, that's like 50 megs. So people aren't going to be too happy about downloading 50 megs of images in their email. It'd be very slow for one. So by resizing those when they're being uploaded, it kind of protects against that.
Yeah, and she also says, I also use Photoshop Pro Photo RGB, but would I need to convert to sRGB?
I don't know about that. I mean, basically, it works off an image, the extension of the image that you're saving as. So as long as you save it as a JPG file or a PNG file, it should work.
Juliet, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and ask any more questions if you want to. I don't disallow questions.
That's okay.
We were all on Crowdcast earlier, and as you know, on Crowdcast, the audience have to put. They're all my artists are all so well behaved. They know they have to put the questions in the Ask a Question box from Crowdcast. But I just thought it was easier. That's great. She's found it interesting, so that's great.
Okay, good, excellent.
Does anyone else have, Jane? Jane, do you have a question? Brilliant.
Yeah, sorry, I missed the very start, so I apologise if I'm asking again. But
that's okay.
Obviously, I can see the point of view from retail marketing, but can you use Sensorpro as an alternative website?
Not really. No, it's more for contacting your customers and your mailing list. So it's not really a website builder. It's more a communication tool.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wouldn't take the place of something like Squarespace
or WordPress.
Thank you for saying that, because my teeth have obviously fallen out. So yeah, it wouldn't take the place of that. It will take the place, or it might be another system alongside if you used MailChimp before, or you've used MailerLite maybe.
Yeah.
Where if you get to a certain number of contacts, then you have to do a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
This is a pay as you go. So the nicer thing for artists is that you're not committed to a long-term, year or subscription. You can just pay, if you're only sending one email a month, or even one email every 3 months, and you've got a few hundred subscribers and just building it slowly, then this is a great system to use.
Yeah, I mean, I think people who are using MailChimp, I mean, if they've got a list, like in MailChimp, if you've got a list of 2,000 or 3,000 contacts that you want to email on a regular basis, MailChimp are going to charge you $79 a month, whether you send or not. So having the flexibility to, first of all, send for free if you have less than 2,500 contacts, first of all, but the flexibility to pay when you send. So maybe you just send a quarterly email to your list. You don't be paying monthly for a quarterly email. It doesn't make any sense. So having the flexibility to just pay as you need or pay as you go, really, it kind of
I think also for people who aren't as tech efficient, or just getting into this, I think your system is incredibly easy to use because you've done a lot of the work for you. Whereas, we use MailChimp because we send thousands of emails every month, and it's all set up for us, and we've got all our templates and everything. But actually, I'm considering moving some of those across onto here, because some of the people who work for me find that system difficult. And I just think that actually it's quite a nice intuitive system that, as I say, I saw this first, what was it, a year ago, Dave? I think you were demonstrating it. I saw it
for Women's Inspire. Yeah, that would have been July or August, I think.
Yeah, I saw it there.
It seems like more than a year ago after the last year,
It does, on Crowdcast. And I was really fascinated by it because, I just happened upon it by accident. And I was like, oh, this system looks really good. So I've been having a little play with it personally. And I think we talk a lot about email marketing. It's really important as part of the relationship build element for artists to own their mailing list, having these followers on the various social media platforms is all well and good, but you're not in control of them, and they could go down at any minute and you'd lose everything.
Correct.
So
I mean,
getting everyone over onto something like this is really important.
Yeah, there's another factor there, Leslie. I mean, if you're on social media and you've got your own Instagram page and your own Facebook page and you're putting content up there regularly, your followers may never see that content. You're kind of at the mercy of their algorithms to say, you should see content from Pure Arts Group today. And you may never see that. Unless you go looking for Pure Arts Group content, you may never see it. So the advantage of email is you have that one-to-one relationship with your contacts. So when you send an email out, you know you've got their eyes on your email. They can't miss it. If they don't want to open your email, that's up to them, but at least they'll see that you sent them an email, and it's up to them to decide if they want to see it. But in social media, they may never see your content.
Yeah, and you get your data.
Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, I love this little data chart. I'm a complete data geek, sadly.
Yeah.
So I love your little data chart, and it's really easy to see. So yeah, thank you so much. As Dave said, he's very hungry. He needs to go for his dinner now. So we're going to let him go. But Perfect. We're very grateful for your time, Dave. And if anyone's got any questions, please send them to me, to Dave directly. But if you haven't noted down his email, then email me and I'll give it to you. And also remember that you've got this little envelope at the side of the screen on Sensorpro, so you can always click on the envelope and get probably not Dave.
It probably will be me. It probably will be me.
You might get Dave, and then he'll help you and he'll guide you through. So yeah,
absolutely.
All right, thank you so much,
Good.
and we'll say good night to everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Take care.